Maybe you know this feeling too, the exhaustion of always being the strong one, the loneliness of being even in a relationship but is still carrying everything alone. Always wondering if you are too much or somehow not enough. That's not your fault. You're just unconsciously choosing what your nervous system recognizes as love. But now that you can see this pattern, this becomes your healing work.
Most women nowadays like to talk about the fact that there are no good men left, but here's the truth, ladies. If you actually treated men with respect, if you actually listened to them, you obeyed them, you admired them, you acknowledged them, you made your man feel special, or you made men in general feel respected and special, they would treat you like queens. They would treat you exactly how you want and expect, and probably even better than that, and give you even more than you could have imagined. Because men reciprocate the effort that they're given. Men reciprocate how they're treated. If you're treating your man horribly, he's not going to treat you very well in return. And that is your fault. That's not his fault. If you want a man to treat you better, start treating them better.
A lot of these modern women are treating men's loyalty, men's patience. A lot of men are long suffering. And modern women are treating it like, I'm owed this. I'm entitled to this sort of thing. You don't respect a man, you don't appreciate him, and then you wonder why the man stops doing what he was doing. It's not rocket science.
And with no hose. Where are you? What are you?
Gym, working, taking care of responsibilities and priorities, possibly building businesses, trying to leave behind a legacy, building the life that they want so they can establish the future necessary. And some of them are even so lost that they're kind of just trying to figure out what to do with their life. But a vast majority of the good men out there who don't have any hoes, they're just doing life. And they're trying to do everything possible that they can in order to have a better quality of life so that way they can have the future that they desire. And I would bet that every day that you go out, you probably pass one of those dudes. But they in their lane, with their head down, minding their business, grinding and doing their thing because they don't want to waste time or play games. And I would say a vast majority are probably waiting to find the right quality of woman to invest into because, like I said, they're tired of games.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video. A lot of these men have really honestly and truly stopped competing for women. I know a lot of women are out here talking about may the best man win, like it's some sort of tournament or something like that. No, I'm not going to keep on doing that. I'm withdrawing my application. This is foolishness. I don't have time for it.
I fear that the man I'm talking to, I'm his first baddie.
This is the last thing I'm going to say about this because I've already talked about why men are reacting the way that they are to this video. And that's simply because they don't believe that she is a baddie. Because for one, the superior attitude is unattractive. And two, they simply just don't see it. But even a lot of women are having a strong negative reaction to this video because what that woman is doing is she is essentially bashing all of the exes of that man, meaning that she is making herself superior to a whole bunch of women, which is just not cool.
I saw this post, right? And this lady said that men are no longer persuasive. And yes, y'all, before y'all see the comments, we know we married. Like we just talk about what people we talk about. We had to date at some point in our lives, right? Woman said men are no longer persuasive.
I got married a virgin.
Yeah, I know, for sure. Men are no longer persuasive. She said, as soon as you tell them no, they don't ask you out on no more dates.
They wanted to beg for a date?
That's what she said, dog.
Beg for a date.
I don't know if it's beg for.
Want to go out? No. Cool.
You wrong.
You really want to go out? Want to go out? Maybe I'll ask you tomorrow. Well, what does she want? A no means no. They say no means no. No means no, right?
No, Chan, she's saying when you ask the first time, when she say no, that's supposed to get you really on your game so you can ask again.
So then walk around the aisle and act like we didn't never meet?
Chase the cat.
But like hey man, let me take you out sometime for dinner. No. Hey, how you doing, Channing? Let me take you out to dinner. What is she talking? You just gonna keep begging her? That's called stalking.
Follow for more and pass it on.
You know, it's a common belief that men are giving up men are not. So that's the thing. Men are not giving up. They're giving up on dating modern women. And a lot of times, like, oh, well, you know, it's because you hate women. It's because you really don't like women. No, it's because I'm not receiving the basic amount, the basic level of respect.
I like your shoes. They're really cute.
Nice. I like you.
Thank you. You're really cute.
Women just usually approach me.
Really?
So,
you're really
are you
cute.
approaching me, right? You single?
Are you?
Yeah. Are you gonna take my heart? I'm gonna give you one.
I want to.
Oh.
Are you gonna treat me good?
Yeah.
You guys have to be the ones to approach with something like that. It's not hard, because that way you can just mitigate all those. You can just get out the way all those creepy dudes, the dudes you think that's creepy. You can just leave us alone. All right, you guys holler at who you want. Say something like that. Nice shoes. The shoes don't even have to be nice. Just let them know. And guess what? He might say the worst a man will do is, because we was raised to respect and treat women and make them feel good. So the worst thing a man will do is say, "Oh, appreciate it, thank you," and keep walking. And that's it. That's the worst he gonna do. All right, y'all. Unfortunately, y'all made it this way, but look how it could turn out. You might actually get you a Valentine's Day instead of sitting at home and eating a no-bake cheesecake.
You know, you kind of read some of these comments and you see it. When men say things like, "Man, I'm tired." You know, that's it. That's the whole thing. You really don't have to even go any further. A lot of times people try to put this thing on men like men are bitter. Like men are, you know, just angry at the world. They're mad at women because women won't give them access to. And really, it's just he's tired. You know, and that's what a lot of men are right now. I'm not trying to be out here yelling and screaming and trying to create problems. I'm just trying to tell you I'm tired of all of the games. That's it. Just exhausted. Did everything that was supposed to do and got nothing for it. Literally nothing for it. And so now, like, I'm just going to sit this one out. I'm just going to sit this one out. You guys got it.
I think dads are less protective than they've ever been, because they can't care about what their daughter wears or where she goes or who she dates, because that would be backward. You know, it's her right to do that. But then you look around and you see girls doing that. You see girls like selling themselves online to strangers. And I think what has accidentally happened is feminism pushed this idea of like girls and boys are just as strong as each other. And then that led to people thinking, oh, so girls don't need extra protection, which is chivalry, but also fathers actually protecting girls. Because the problem is not like women are weak, it's that girls are vulnerable. But now we think, oh, we should all step back. We just all authority. And so now you have young women like demanding that their universities protect them and demanding that the government step in, and like staring at someone becomes harassment on the tube, because we degraded the authority of men they trust, like good men, and hopefully like their fathers and brothers. We just said, oh, all kind of protection is patronizing and we don't need it. But then you leave girls completely vulnerable and looking coddled and loved, but actually completely unprotected.
So you have a lot of these guys out here that women are actually looking for. They just don't know they're looking for them. They're actually just building. They're doing a bunch of different other things. They're going on with their lives. They're not centering. I mean, I don't think a lot of men do anyway, because even if they wanted to, they can't center their life around a woman. You know, you have to work. Even if a woman wasn't in the picture, you still have to work. And that's what men have to do, right? And so now, instead of having a woman in their life, because all of these modern women are trash, they just go pick up a hobby or another hobby, actually. You know, oh, I go to the gym, right? Or, you know, I go fishing, or I might join a bowling league, whatever it might be. I'm picking up a different hobby or a different skill. I might start gaming a little bit more. Might join a gaming league, right? Might even try to look at doing this professionally. So men are doing other things besides messing around with modern women and wasting their time and money.
To own that he did it on purpose to own that the impact that was happening over here, he meant to cause that. Instead of, it's nothing. He usually wouldn't say anything. Thank you. He just wander away. I mean, I would not be with, there's such lame names for it, boyfriend, sweetheart, lover, playmate, adventure buddy. I wouldn't be with Dan if it were not that he has a phenomenal ability to receive and a phenomenal ability to own that he gave on purpose. And his "you're welcome," it heals me again and again and again. Thank you for that. You're welcome. And even when I'm not saying thank you, like the first time I talked to him on the phone and he said something that really rattled me. Oh gosh, I was so rattled. And I just called it. Okay, I was going to go in one direction. You went in a different direction and my nervous system is whacked right now. Could you just hold space for a few minutes so I could reset? Sure.
So I'm reading a comment here, and it comes from one of the clips where the woman is essentially talking about, you really have to understand the psyche behind these women. There's one clip that I'm thinking about where she was like, a man walked up to me and he asked for $37 to help cover his toe, and why would you come up to a woman? Why? We're afraid of you. What does him asking you for $37 have to do with you being afraid? I mean, you guys want men to protect you and to help you out, but then when a man asks, I'm just asking for $37. Oh no, I'm sorry, I don't have it. Okay, thank you, I appreciate it. And then the man moves on and he goes about his day. You didn't hear about how he put his hands on you, how he did you wrong. He just asked you for $37 and that's it. Modern women, they continue to say that they're in therapy. They need more of it. I'm not even sure at this point in time modern women are going to therapy.
I remember my grandfather telling me, God rest his soul, before he passed away, that men have 4 different appetites that you have to tend to. He said men are not complicated. He said, I'm just going to break it down to you. He told me, he said, men have a physical appetite, a visual appetite, an appetite, and an emotional appetite. And for a minute, I really didn't understand it when I was younger, but as I got older, it really started to click. It always stayed with me. He said, physically, you need to make sure that you know how to cook. And if you don't know how to cook, then find out how to cook. And if you can't, then at least have a meal on the stove or in the stove by the time he get there that's warm, especially if that man is taking care of the household. He said, it don't take a lot of work. He said it don't. And I watched my grandmother do it. I watched her do it, so I know that I'm capable. He said a visual appetite. He said, keep yourself up. He said, if you're the only woman that this man is going to be with, at least keep yourself up. He said, because men still need to be stimulated visually, so that way they can crave you. He said, and yeah, he said, love will still be there. He said, and although your looks will fade, you the one woman that he wants to look at. Give him something. Excite him. Make him imagine something. Tease him. Right? And then there's my grandfather told me, he said that, yes, visually you can stimulate a man. He said, but don't forget that men are in nature. He said, and so they're going to want to do what they want to do to their woman. You're the only woman that he's sleeping with. You're the only woman that he desired. Take some time out of y'all day. He said, look, if y'all got to share the responsibilities, share the responsibilities. You both do things in the house so that way when the kids are down, y'all both can bathe and oil each other down and do what y'all need to do. He said, that's going to help y'all connect. And then last one, he said, men do have an emotional appetite. He said, all men want to feel is appreciated, understood, heard. That's it. He said, just listen to him. You don't got to talk much. Just listen. He always told me that men are not that complicated. He's absolutely right.
And modern women, what they like to talk about is, they like to talk about, why aren't men coming up to us? How come, that's just the way it is. That's what men do. They just come up to women. But what you don't really understand is that, and maybe nobody told you, men don't owe you anything. They don't owe you a relationship. They don't owe you marriage. They don't owe you commitment. You have to earn those things. Those things that you talking about, you got to earn that. Oh, well, he's just supposed to walk up to me and just tell me how beautiful I am. What are you doing to initiate, to help, to facilitate that? You don't get to just say, oh, well, this is my right. I'm owed this. No, you're not. No, you're not at all. And that's the problem with modern women and their entitled attitude. They think that men owe them something. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And they have a lot of coping mechanisms. Oh, he's intimidated. Oh, he must be broke. Whatever you want to say, I'm not walking over there.
My single girls, I'm going to hold your hand when I say this, but nice guys are husband material. I know that it's easy to be like, oh, he's being too nice. I'm getting the ick because he's too nice. But think about being in a relationship with someone like that. I don't know about you, but I would much rather have someone in a relationship be like obsessed with me, be so nice to me, be respectful of me and my time, than be a jerk to me. And this goes beyond just being a jerk to you. Think about being in a relationship with someone. They're constantly going to be interacting with your friends, your family, maybe your coworkers at a work Christmas party. So think about them being a jerk and how that would reflect onto you. You know that saying that's like, people can tell how much you respect yourself by the partner that you choose? If your boss meets someone who you are with, who you bring to a work Christmas party, and they are a complete jerk all the time, like, that's what they're going to think that you value yourself as. And that, again, negatively reflects back onto you. I feel like at the beginning of my relationship with my boyfriend, I was so used to this mindset in my head of, oh, he's being too nice. Like, that's an ick. And because that's just the way that young girls, or in your early 20s, that's the way that you think, right? He's being too nice. I want some toxicity. I want a little bit of oomph to it. Okay, but again, now we got to start thinking about husbands. We got to start thinking, this is my time. This is valuable. And why would I waste my time on a jerk, on someone who's treating me horribly, on someone who isn't respecting me and my time, who isn't going to respect my friends? Like, no, in a relationship, you want someone to be nice, to be respectful. And so you have to think, like, get over, I know it's annoying, you have to like get over the mental hump of, oh, he's being too nice, like even in the beginning, and think like, okay, but that's what I would want my partner to be like. I would want my partner to be nice and respectful. I needed that reminder whenever I was single and starting to talk to my boyfriend. So I just wanted to pass that along to you girls. I know it's easy to get icked out by them being too nice, but that makes a great partner. So there's my little tip of wisdom for you girls. Love you so much. Bye.
A lot of these modern women, we're trying to gaslight, and have been, even until today, trying to gaslight men is essentially what they're trying to do. Trying to make men think that we're crazy, that we're asking for too much, for like a simple being friendly, being feminine, being relatively fit. Oh, I just want a feminine woman. That was wrong. Or I'm looking for loyalty. Oh, you're controlling. You know, I'm just looking for somebody to respect me. Oh, that's toxic. I don't like a toxic man. It just seems to, just sometimes I just feel like, you know, and what they setting up to say is, I feel like I need to be able to act the way I want to act whenever I want to act like that. That's what they saying. Yeah, I can respect you here and there, but I need to be able to just allow my emotions to go haywire whenever I want to. That's really what they're saying. And men are saying, no, that's not the way we're going to do it. That happy wife, happy life stuff, I'm doing whatever I can to make you happy because you got an attitude, because you can't close your mouth, because you can't fix your little silly attitude, especially in front of the kids. We're not doing that anymore.
Highest divorce rates to women. Lowest divorce rates to men. Highest rates of to women. Lowest rates to men. 75 to 80% of divorces filed by women. Top reasons: boredom, unhappiness, no longer compatible. Highest rates for maltreatment of children by women. Women consume social media at a far higher rate than men. Women are also 3 times more likely to deal with mental health issues than men. When you share these statistics, you are automatically labeled a misogynist pick-me who hates women, but fortunately, I care more about truth than being accepted by the sisterhood. I'm also not a girl's girl, I'm a woman's woman, which means taking radical responsibility and accountability for my own gender. And the truth is, we have a lot of work to do. But what has happened instead is not only my generation, but the generations of women before us just constantly blame and deflect everything on men. You'll hear them say, well, if the men were good, if the men were better, if the men were more masculine, then we would be better women. And that's an extremely entitled take to say that your virtue only relies on men in society. With that attitude, you will actually never attract the men that you claim to want in society. If you are living a debaucherous lifestyle as a woman, you cannot turn around and say, it's men's fault that I don't have anyone to marry. It's men's fault that the dating pool is messed up. No, it's your fault. The best thing that you can do in your life is just to say, everything is my fault, and start taking radical responsibility for your own life instead of blaming and deflecting on everyone else.
Are you ladies ready for your final challenge? All right, ladies.
Stop.
That's right, ladies. Today, you will be taking accountability. It's over with.
Hell no. Okay, all right. That's why I draw the line. Y'all doing way too much, okay? You crazy? Who's taking action? I'm gonna head out, okay? Good luck, ladies. I ain't.
Okay, but hold on real quick though, sweetheart. I got you something. Look, I just want to let you know you're very beautiful. Shit's good. On God. 110 calories. And then there were 2. Ladies, today's challenge, you will walk up to the table and take accountability. There's no time limit. The first person to do it takes home $100,000. Are you ladies ready? It's on you.
Still grab it, babe.
Ladies, there's no trick to it. Just,
a lot of these modern women, they're upset because now men are, it used to kind of be unintentional. I wasn't really paying attention. And women would get ignored. But now men are ignoring women on purpose. And it's throwing women off because how can I get dressed up like this? How can I put this type of makeup on and spend hours on this makeup, this dress? I'm dressed down to the nines. Obviously, a lot of these modern women are talking about, I go outside and I see just baddies. Oh, just beautiful, fine, gorgeous women. But I don't see any good-looking men. And men still didn't approach. I'm thinking of that video that I think Sarah Eaton reviewed. She was kind of, reacting to it, where a woman was upset. She had a little cute outfit on, right? Hair was done, cute. But just having like a little fit right there in her room, talking about, man, I look like this and men don't approach. I look like this and I still get ignored. It's because y'all have a bad attitude. You have a bad attitude. You're not pleasant to be around. Not even. Talk about dating. I was talking to my wife about this. And she was saying, well, I understand that a lot of women aren't feminine anymore. They're not friendly. They and all this other stuff. I said, we can't even get there. we can't even get there. Right? I think we were discussing, Ivan Preach, we're talking about Diary of a CEO and Incel, and the woman was reviewing one of his episodes, Diary of a CEO, and she was reviewing it, and then I think the man said something, and she just started going off about how men were to blame, and then Ivan Preach were like, how is that a man's fault? Exactly. It wasn't his fault. You know, and that's what's happening. And I know it seems like I'm going everywhere, but it's just so many examples of modern women. You're getting ignored because of your bad attitude. She's sitting up there going off on men, and men, it ain't got nothing to do with me. If I got to deal with an attitude like that, if you react like that, I already know you're chaotic. I already know you're going to bring the drama. I already know you're not a good person. I'm going to ignore you. I'm going to ignore you. You don't even have to worry about being feminine. You don't even have to worry about being a girl, a woman with a soft touch, a woman that could use her words to maneuver a man. You can't. You are not a good person in the first place. We haven't even gotten to you being a woman. You're not a good person in the first place. The base level, you're not even a good, decent human being. That's where it's messed up at. Be a good person first, and then we'll talk about you and your role as a woman, what a woman does.
What is the exact moment a man will typically stop begging for love? A lot of women expect men to be loud about it or scream or yell, and usually it's very quiet. When a man realizes that nothing he gives will change anything, that you don't appreciate it, that you don't see it, that you don't keep track of it, that you don't care about it, you just demand more constantly, that's typically when he'll stop. And I know this is counterintuitive to so much of the advice we see scrolling online that, oh, just demand more, ask for this, ask for that. But the reality is, he notices, and it becomes discouraging because he feels like he's the only one giving in the relationship. And that doesn't mean he doesn't love you. He may love you more than anything in the world, but he doesn't love himself and who he's become around you because he's not appreciated, he's exhausted, he's overwhelmed, and just overall doesn't feel good about the relationship and where it's heading. When a man is doing everything to hold it together and he feels unwanted, unseen, unappreciated, and he starts to feel that way, and then he starts noticing that you don't even reciprocate, that's when his respect dies for you. And then he starts to realize he cannot talk without being attacked. Anytime he brings up an issue, you immediately go on the defense. You immediately argue with him over what his feelings are or whether or not they're valid, when the reality is they're valid either way. And you don't always have to agree with him. That's not what he's expecting. But he expects to be heard. He expects to be seen. Just like he validates your feelings when you're upset and you're venting to him, he wants the same exact feeling. Next, he noticed that his efforts only matter when you actually need something. That's the only time you give him affection. That's the only time you care about his needs, when he's meeting all of your needs first. You don't reach out. If he's going through a rough time, and he's always the one giving, or he's going through a rough time and he can't give you as much for a little while, and you just completely stop showing up in the relationship, he notices. Maybe not at first, maybe he lets it go for a little while, but if this is a consistent pattern, he's going to catch on, and that makes him stop wanting to give you the love that you once got. A lot of men know that they're only valued when they're useful. They just know that. I mean, that's how his life has always been. And in his relationship, this is the one place where he doesn't want to have to feel like that. He doesn't want to feel like the relationship is one-sided and he's being used. And ultimately, when you don't reciprocate, when a relationship is one-sided, that's what he feels, is used. He feels like you are using him. And enough men feel like that every single day. They go to work where they have, maybe coworkers that are a problem for him, or maybe he doesn't love his boss right now and things are just rough. And he doesn't want to come home and have to compete with you or feel like he's being used by you as well. How do you know your man is at this point? He stops talking about his feelings completely. And to be fair, there's a lot of men out there who don't feel comfortable or safe in their relationships to do that. But if he previously was talking about those things and now he never does, that's a huge red flag. He'll stop reminding you. He'll stop bringing up what he wants. Because at that point, the conflict just isn't worth it. And he's gradually checking out. A lot of women assume, oh, we're the only ones that leave before actually leaving the relationship. Men sometimes do this too, because they're secretly hoping that you'll wake up one day and be like, oh my gosh, I'm losing him. I want him in my life. He means everything to me. And then for you to step up and make an effort. But when you don't do that, he starts to check out and he's like, okay, I need to leave this relationship. Next, he'll stop trying to make you happy. He'll just sort of give up. He'll stop putting as much effort into the relationship. Maybe he's playing more video games, hanging out with his friends, doing his own thing. And to be fair, we all go through phases like this where our partner's kind of on the back burner for a little bit, and that's okay. Sometimes we change our priorities a little bit, and that can be okay within reason. But if he's consistently doing this and not changing and not spending time with you, that's a red flag that this is the path he's going down. Men know that they're only 50% of the relationship. He can give you everything. He can try his best. But again, if you're not reciprocating, there's nothing he can do about that. He cannot fix the relationship by himself, and he knows that. What is the exact moment a man will typically stop begging for love? A lot of women expect men to be loud about it or scream or yell, and usually it's very quiet. When a man realizes that nothing he gives will change anything, that you don't appreciate it, that you don't see it, that you don't keep track of it, that you don't care about it, you just demand more constantly, that's typically when he'll stop. And I know this is counterintuitive to so much of the advice we see scrolling online that, oh, just demand more, ask for this, ask for that. But the reality is, he notices, and it becomes discouraging because he feels like he's the only one giving in the relationship. And that doesn't mean he doesn't love you. He may love you more than anything in the world, but he doesn't love himself and who he's become around you because he's not appreciated, he's exhausted, he's overwhelmed, and just overall doesn't feel good about the relationship and where it's heading. When a man is doing everything to hold it together and he feels unwanted, unseen, unappreciated, and he starts to feel that way, and then he starts noticing that you don't even reciprocate, that's when his respect dies for you. And then he starts to realize he cannot talk without being attacked. Anytime he brings up an issue, you immediately go on the defense. You immediately argue with him over what his feelings are or whether or not they're valid, when the reality is they're valid either way. And you don't always have to agree with him. That's not what he's expecting. But he expects to be heard. He expects to be seen. Just like he validates your feelings when you're upset and you're venting to him, he wants the same exact feeling. Next, he noticed that his efforts only matter when you actually need something. That's the only time you give him affection. That's the only time you care about his needs, when he's meeting all of your needs first. You don't reach out. If he's going through a rough time, and he's always the one giving, or he's going through a rough time and he can't give you as much for a little while, and you just completely stop showing up in the relationship, he notices. Maybe not at first, maybe he lets it go for a little while, but if this is a consistent pattern, he's going to catch on, and that makes him stop wanting to give you the love that you once got. A lot of men know that they're only valued when they're useful. They just know that. I mean, that's how his life has always been. And in his relationship, this is the one place where he doesn't want to have to feel like that. He doesn't want to feel like the relationship is one-sided and he's being used. And ultimately, when you don't reciprocate, when a relationship is one-sided, that's what he feels, is used. He feels like you are using him. And enough men feel like that every single day. They go to work where they have, maybe coworkers that are a problem for him, or maybe he doesn't love his boss right now and things are just rough. And he doesn't want to come home and have to compete with you or feel like he's being used by you as well. How do you know your man is at this point? He stops talking about his feelings completely. And to be fair, there's a lot of men out there who don't feel comfortable or safe in their relationships to do that. But if he previously was talking about those things and now he never does, that's a huge red flag. He'll stop reminding you. He'll stop bringing up what he wants. Because at that point, the conflict just isn't worth it. And he's gradually checking out. A lot of women assume, oh, we're the only ones that leave before actually leaving the relationship. Men sometimes do this too, because they're secretly hoping that you'll wake up one day and be like, oh my gosh, I'm losing him. I want him in my life. He means everything to me. And then for you to step up and make an effort. But when you don't do that, he starts to check out and he's like, okay, I need to leave this relationship. Next, he'll stop trying to make you happy. He'll just sort of give up. He'll stop putting as much effort into the relationship. Maybe he's playing more video games, hanging out with his friends, doing his own thing. And to be fair, we all go through phases like this where our partner's kind of on the back burner for a little bit, and that's okay. Sometimes we change our priorities a little bit, and that can be okay within reason. But if he's consistently doing this and not changing and not spending time with you, that's a red flag that this is the path he's going down. Men know that they're only 50% of the relationship. He can give you everything. He can try his best. But again, if you're not reciprocating, there's nothing he can do about that. He cannot fix the relationship by himself, and he knows that.
Once again, I think, I think a lot of modern women, if you listen to them, it doesn't matter if they're 30, 40, or 50. If you listen to them, they're going to have you single. That's why they're single. They say a lot of silly stuff. Well, I think once it gets here, once you prove to me that, according to my list, according to my radar, and we know that for modern women, their list is ever changing. So that list can change daily, but I want you to be a consistent man every single day. No matter whether I'm having a bad day or what it is, be consistent. You continue to be the man. No matter how I feel, you continue to be a man. I'm going to act a fool. I'm going to do whatever I want, but you continue to be a man. You continue to act how you act. Even if I cuss you out, mess up your car, break your game, you continue to be a man. In all situations, continue to be a man. And then when we're in a committed relationship, then maybe I'll think about it. That's what modern women do. Whenever you prove to me up to my standards, then I'll start putting in effort. You run 100%. It's like, and that's what I'm saying. They sit up there with their little whistle. And like I said, I think I've said before, a coach, we probably deserve that. We probably deserved it with football, man. And, in junior high, he just said, hey, you know what? We're just going to get out here. We're going to start running. And we got on the track. We just kept running. And I was messing around, just messing around. And he would just say, keep on going, lap after lap. When would I stop running? Just keep on running until I say stop. And we just kept running. All that playing went out the window. All that laughing and kikiing went out the window. Tired. By the time we walked back up to that, or slink back up to that field house, all of that playing was out of our system. But he did it to teach us a lesson. Hey, quit playing around. Pay attention. Right? This is what modern women are. But without the lesson, without anything good. They sit up with the whistle and just say, run until I tell you to stop. But it wasn't because men are playing around. It wasn't because men were acting a fool. It had nothing to do with that. Right? Now I can see if you say, okay, I see you. You see, coach was seeing clear signs and these guys playing around. Like, hey, stop it. Hey, quit. Hey, stop. All right, let's go outside. Let's go ahead and run. There are clear signs of you acting a fool. But even for the men, not acting a fool, I'm doing everything that I need to be. Modern women will still sit back there and say, keep on running. Nope, keep on running. Nah, you keep on doing that. They'll still sit up there and do that. They'll still sit up there and make a man go lap after lap, round after round, presents, flowers, expensive dinners, expensive dates, concerts, ball games, you name it, helicopter ride, you name it, until I get tired. And then after that, maybe, just maybe, we can be together. Just maybe will I say that's enough. You did a good job.